$1 trillion XRP ETF Multiplier. Folks, in today's video, I'm going to show you the conservative assumptions that we're making that take us to $1 trillion of market cap growth for XRP. I do think that there is a chance, and I firmly believe that we're going to, at the very minimum, my conservative base case is seeing 500 billion of market cap growth for XRP. Now, I'll do the math real quick for you, but I'm going to encourage you to stick around for the full breakdown because this is the XRP ETF Alpha. Anybody telling you that you should be bearish on XRP right now, send them this video because the base case of 500 billion of market cap growth takes us to about a $10 to $11 XRP. And on our more bullish case, 1 trillion of market cap growth for XRP, just deriving value, flows coming in on these ETFs alone, not all the other utility. Remember, we're just staying ridiculously conservative. No clickbait. Conservative assumptions and simple math. 1 trillion of market cap growth takes you to about a $19, $20 XRP. So stick around for the full breakdown, folks. We are going live tomorrow, okay? It is happening. I know folks said that the case with the SEC was never going to end. The ETFs were never going to go live. XRP was never going to break $2. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Eric Balchunas. The official listing notice for XRPC has arrived from NASDAQ. Looks like tomorrow is on for the launch. And we're not just checking one source. We got two sources. If Eleanor Terrett posts it, you know it's confirmed, folks. Let's get it. Canary, first one to market. NASDAQ certified the listing, clearing XRPC for launch tomorrow at market open. Am I going to be buying the ETFs? No. But are a lot of folks waiting to buy the ETFs, and are they going to need to buy the ETFs because they're in retirement accounts or 401ks where that's their only option? Yes. And something that was talked about at the Swell conference too was like endowments, right? Some of these endowments, the only way that they're going to get exposure at colleges, universities across this country, they have a lot of money to invest. And they're starting to invest in crypto, but they're doing through the Bitcoin ETFs, maybe the Ethereum ETFs. They're going to be additional buyers of XRP ETFs. So even though the ETFs aren't for us, we are very happy that they are here. It's going to open up accessibility, and it's going to bring in the 5 to 10 billion of inflows that we're anticipating just in the first year. And that might even come first month. Now, I like this post right here from Johnny Crypto. Now, I know you're all excited and hoping for $10 or $589 XRP price tomorrow, but I can encourage everyone to temper their expectations. Stay calm. The good news is when I asked Gemini if these ETF issuers can purchase the XRP in advance, the answer was yes, but listen to this. The issuer must buy some XRP in advance, but it is a small, specific amount called seed capital, not the large-scale holdings you might be thinking of. And it summarized it like this. The ETF issuer will buy a tiny amount of XRP in advance for seed capital, but they cannot pre-purchase months worth of expected XRP before the launch. They have to now go acquire the XRP, right? They have seed capital. And I think, I can't remember if it was the Bitwise, I think it was the Bitwise Solana ETF that launched, what was that, last week? Or the week before? That one went live with, I think, 200 million of seed capital, but then it had an additional, was it like 400 million of trading day one? I mean, that thing was by far the largest day one volume of any ETF launch this year. And so I'm anticipating that we're going to see some fireworks tomorrow with this Canary Capital one. And it's important to note that they have a little bit of seed capital. They purchased a little bit of XRP beforehand, but then they're going to take in all this money, all the inflows are going to come in. Whether you're buying on Robinhood, somebody in my Discord group said that it's listed on Schwab. You go buy it wherever you're going to buy it at your brokerage, and those inflows are going to come in, and then they go buy more XRP. So no, they haven't had big pre-allocations. They haven't already bought the XRP. They're not buying it super cheap last year at 50 cents and then selling it to us today at 250. It's not how these work. And so now they have to go buy the XRP, which is why we've been talking about this multiplier on these inflows could get even more dramatic. We're just trying to stay ridiculously conservative. Now, nice little thread right here from Paul Barron. We're going to be tracking this as this all rolls out and as we finalize all the fee structure and the calendar. Tomorrow, Canary goes live. The fee on that's going to be 50 basis points, so half of 1%. Franklin Templeton coming live here. Bitwise expected by November 19th, 34 basis points on that fee, and that is the cheapest fee is going to be from Bitwise. 21 shares, coin shares following up there closely. Grayscale set to go live later this month as well at 35 basis points with Wisdom Tree. Wall Street's 1.5 trillion in assets under management is coming for XRP. Cheapest fee being Bitwise at 34 basis points. The XRP ETF era starts tomorrow. This is happening. Now, one point of clarity that I want to provide, because some folks have misinterpreted some recent statements from Vivo Power, which is one of the digital asset treasury companies holding XRP on their balance sheet. And their CEO, I believe it was, made a comment about buying XRP at an 84% discount from Ripple. Well, it got taken out of context. And what actually is taking place is Vivo Power is buying Ripple equity, and they go on to explain how Ripple's share price right now, the valuation on Ripple, is extremely discounted, their net asset value of their XRP. So that's where the 84% discount is coming from. I wanted to clarify this. Paul put out a post, and I'll read it here, but I wanted to clarify this because some folks were starting to spread this FUD around, that these guys, this digital asset treasury was buying it at an 84% discount. And people are thinking, oh, Ripple's dumping on us. They really are. They're doing an 84% discount. No, they're not. The CEO of Vivo Power is just commenting and acknowledging what I've been saying as well, that Ripple, valued at 40 billion recently on their last raise of 500 million that they announced at Swell. A 40 billion valuation is extremely discounted when considering XRP is at $2.40 and Ripple has over 40 billion XRP. So that would put Ripple's net asset value of their XRP well over about $100 billion, not including the rest of their business that makes good money too. But just their XRP NAV is over 100 billion. So that's the discount that Vivo Power is talking about right here. It's a valuation arbitrage in the private market for Ripple shares. And so I just explained the math. I'm not going to read the rest of the post, but that's the point. And Paul asked a good question here at the bottom. What if Fundstrat went this route to directly buy from existing Ripple shareholders via definitive agreements rather than from Ripple itself asking for a friend? Well, this is where it gets interesting because, these digital asset treasury companies, they can go about acquiring XRP in the ETS. They could go about acquiring XRP just OTC. They also are going to be implementing yield strategies. It's going to be very interesting to watch. And that discrepancy and really underpriced valuation of Ripple is not going to last forever. So the Ripple equity deal has been a great deal. I still think that they're undervalued, but I wanted to share that point of clarity before folks see any FUD about people, trying to say that Ripple's selling XRP at an 84% discount. They are not. They are not. But this brings me to the title of today's video. XRP, well, this is our second update today. Make sure you didn't miss our first one this morning. This is the XRP ETF alpha thread. Okay, Bitcoin market cap grew by $1.76 trillion after its spot ETFs went live. Here's the chart. Market cap went down below 800 billion. That was the sell-off after the ETFs went live. So I'm measuring from that low to the October 9th high of about 2.5 trillion. And that is 1.76 trillion of market cap growth for Bitcoin after its ETFs went live. Now, on our conservative base case for XRP, we're looking at this chart right here. By 2027, XRP will have seen at least 500 billion in market cap growth. This is my prediction. We will have seen at least 500 billion in market cap growth. And it could be more in market cap growth, and it also could happen before the end of the year. It could happen in the first quarter of 2026. I'm just saying between now and the end of 2026, this market cap is growing by 500 billion with ease. That is the base case. Worst case scenario. Continuing on, our bullish case, if we get 1 trillion in market cap growth, we will be looking at a $19 to $20 XRP. Here's the full chart. We're right now at 143 billion. If we grow by 1 trillion, you're up here at about 1.15 trillion for XRP's market cap. We go to our market cap calculator, and that's the price of XRP that you're looking at. 60 billion circulating supply, rounding up, about a $19 to $20 XRP with a $1.158 trillion market cap. Okay? Now, I go on to say right here, this is the final disclaimer on this thread. Depending on how fast these inflows into the XRP ETFs come will determine how quickly we reach these targets. I am using conservative assumptions of 5 to 10 billion of inflows and a 100x multiplier. This is simple math. No clickbait, no hype, although this does get me very excited. This does give me a lot of conviction in our XRP investment, but we're just being ridiculously conservative. We're talking about XRP's market cap growing by 1/3 of what Bitcoin did with its ETFs going live. And I think that's very reasonable because XRP is a much lower asset with a smaller market cap. It's much easier to move. The multiplier just on the ETF flows is about 28x. 62 billion of inflows during that same time for the Bitcoin ETFs grew Bitcoin's market cap by 1.76 trillion. It's a 28x multiplier. On average, we're tracking a multiplier for XRP between 100 and 200. Regular basis, normal, no crazy volatility or anything like that. During the more volatile times, or if these inflows come in more aggressively, that multiplier could be larger. The inflows could be larger. But these are simple, conservative assumptions of 5 to 10 billion of inflows and slapping a 100x multiplier on that. Right? Your base case, once again, going back to the market cap multiplier chart, is a $10 to $11 XRP. And the more bullish case, if we get 1 trillion of market cap growth, we're looking at a $19 XRP. If I go back down here to about 10, you'll see you're right there. 600 billion in market cap. So this is what's coming for XRP, right? Base case, 500 billion in market cap growth. The most conservative assumption of 5 billion of inflows, 100x multiplier, so easily done. That's a $10 to $11 XRP. Time frame could happen in a month, could happen in 2 months. Bitcoin had a sell-off after the ETFs went live, and then 2 months later, it went to 74,000. But then to get that full 1.76 trillion of growth, it did take from January 2024 till October 2025, a little over a year and a half. So could happen faster. We could go a lot higher, but I get to sleep peacefully like a little baby at night knowing that the base case on this is a $10 to $11 XRP. And my bet is that it's going to happen sooner than taking till the end of 2026 for that to play out. I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. We are going live tomorrow with the first XRP ETF. More coverage to follow. We'll be doing a live show tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. And all of our other community resources are available at zachrector.com. I appreciate your support. And on the way out, if you could like this video, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.